Bursting with color, life here is not just a painting, but a symphony in motion. A red-eyed tree frog blinks, its pupils glimmering like precious gems. The hummingbird's wings beat so fast that the human eye can barely follow, its tiny body packed with immense energy as it sips each drop of nectar. A basilisk lizard suddenly dashes across the water, its feet barely touching the surface without sinking. And in the sky, flocks of scarlet macaws spread their wings like living fireworks, sparkling in the tropical sunlight. If there is a place where life erupts in every breath, where colors are a language of their own, that place is Costa Rica, a green jewel in Central America, a world apart from the Amazon. Costa Rica is affectionately known as the land of pura vida, meaning pure life. Here, nature is not something to conquer, but something to preserve, respect, and live in harmony with. People believe that happiness comes from being connected to the forests, volcanoes, rivers, and all living creatures around them. Viewed from above, this small country stretches like a green ribbon from the Pacific Ocean to the Caribbean Sea, draped with dense forests and dotted with volcanoes quietly simmering beneath white clouds. What is remarkable is that, although it is not within the Amazon basin, Costa Rica is part of the Mesoamerican Biological Corridor, one of the regions with the highest biodiversity on Earth. Occupying less than 0.1% of the planet's surface, the country contains over 5% of global life. Every inch of forest, every drop of dew tells a story of evolution, symbiosis, and the intricate survival strategies developed over millions of years. Imagine the forest as a skyscraper, where each level is a world of its own. At the bottom is the forest floor, a realm of darkness, where jaguars silently stalk prey, poison frogs display their deadly beauty, and leafcutter ants tirelessly build underground civilizations. This is the layer of beginnings and renewal, where decomposition and predation create the circle of life. Higher up lies the understory, where light filters through in scattered glimmers. This is the domain of tapirs, the ancient gardeners of the old forest, dispersing seeds and nurturing new plants. On the rivers, basilisk lizards showcase their extraordinary ability to run across water to escape predators. In the shadows of the trees, the howls of howler monkeys resonate like proclamations of power, contrasting with the agile spider monkeys using their tails as fifth limbs. Continuing upward, we reach the canopy, a bustling city above, bathed in sunlight. On the branches, three-toed sloths move slowly, turning slowness into a perfect survival strategy. In their fur exists a miniature ecosystem where algae and insects coexist. Elsewhere, the call of a toucan echoes, its enormous yet lightweight beak helping it pluck fruit and regulate temperature. Interspersed are flocks of brilliant macaws, whose beauty also reflects intelligence and complex social life. And most surprisingly, you might catch a glimpse of the Quetzal, the legendary bird of the Maya, with a long tail like a flowing emerald ribbon, a symbol of freedom and sacredness. Costa Rica is living proof that humans and nature can coexist. Just a few decades ago, the country's forest cover had dropped to 20%. But thanks to strong conservation efforts, today the forest has recovered to over 50% of the national territory, with more than a quarter protected as parks and reserves. This is a model the world is now looking to. We will journey through each layer of Costa Rica's old-growth forest, uncovering its magical stories, and learning the lesson that life can only be sustained when every link in the chain is preserved. This is the journey of Pura Vida, a reminder that true happiness comes from harmony with nature. The forest floor is not hidden, but a grand stage where each creature plays its role. If the jaguar is the king of darkness, then tapirs, monkeys, and basilisk lizards are the silent workers, keeping the lifeblood flowing. The understory and river, therefore, are the heart of the forest. Each morning, the howler monkeys' calls awaken the forest, the flowing water beats like a pulse, and the birds' mating calls intermingle. Together, they form an endless symphony, with humans as fortunate travelers who are privileged to listen. Stepping onto the forest floor, almost all light disappears. The canopy above is so thick that it blocks the sun, leaving only a few faint beams of light seeping through the gaps in the leaves, like scattered lanterns in the darkness. The air is heavy with the damp scent of soil, decaying leaves, moss, fungi, and insects, all mingling together. Every breath seems to carry thousands of tiny particles of decomposition. This is the lowest layer of the forest, a realm of darkness, but also the birthplace of every cycle of life. On the forest floor, death and life exist side by side. Fallen leaves, broken branches, decomposing animal carcasses, all are quickly consumed by microorganisms, fungi, and insects. This process returns nutrients to the soil, feeding young plants and continuing the cycle of renewal. Therefore, the forest floor is not merely a shadowy place, but the cradle that nourishes the entire ecosystem above. Without the decomposition taking place here, the canopy would not be as lush and green. In this dimly lit scene, there is an invisible ruler, rarely seen, the jaguar. With its muscular body and golden brown coat patterned with black rosettes, it blends perfectly into the leaf litter. Its amber eyes watch silently. Unlike lions or tigers, jaguars do not rely on endurance. They do not chase prey over long distances. Their weapon is patience. They hide in the shadows, remain completely silent, then strike with lightning speed. Unlike many other big cats, jaguars have incredibly strong jaws, capable of piercing turtle shells or the skulls of prey. This makes them one of the deadliest hunters in the rainforest. Camera traps have even captured jaguars hunting small caimans or knocking down deer and tapirs in an instant. Yet jaguars are not only top predators, they are also ecosystem regulators. In a rainforest, if herbivores like tapirs, capybaras, or deer become too numerous, they will overconsume foliage and young trees, preventing forest regeneration. Jaguars, by maintaining prey populations at sustainable levels, ensure the forest does not lose its balance. Ecologists call this the trophic cascade. The presence of an apex predator indirectly influences plants, flowers, and countless small creatures. Without jaguars, the forest would change rapidly, tending toward degradation. Alongside the jaguar's imposing figure, there are tiny yet formidable creatures, poison dart frogs. They are only a few centimeters long, delicate in appearance, but among the most dangerous species on Earth. Their skin shines like gemstones, blue, red, orange, golden. This brilliant coloration is a public warning. I am dangerous, do not touch. This evolutionary strategy, called aposematism, deters predators from a distance. Their toxins do not arise spontaneously, but come from their diet. These frogs consume ants, mites, and beetles containing alkaloid compounds, which they store and transform into skin toxins. Interestingly, in captivity, when they are not fed these specific insects, they gradually lose their poison. This demonstrates the deep interconnection between the species and its environment. Indigenous people once harnessed this power by coating their arrows with frog toxins, hence the name poison dart frogs. Under a macro lens, each dewdrop glistening on a poison frog's skin looks like a crystal, but behind this delicate beauty lies deadly potency. Nature's paradox: beauty can serve as a warning, and smallness can harbor destructive power. Moving beyond the frogs, one encounters a completely different society. Leafcutter ants. Long lines of ants stretch like living rivers. Each carries a fragment of leaf many times its own size, moving in an endless parade. But they do not eat the leaves. The fragments are taken back to the nest, cut into tiny pieces, and used to cultivate a special fungus, the primary food source for the colony. Underground, the ant nest resembles a massive city with separate chambers for fungus cultivation, nurseries for the young, ventilation corridors, and passageways for transport. The structure is so complex that scientists have studied it to understand natural airflow and architecture. Each colony can house millions of individuals, operating with remarkable discipline, leaving humans in awe of their organizational abilities. More importantly, leafcutter ants are ecosystem engineers. They prune vegetation, recycle leaves, and enhance soil fertility. In areas where they operate, plants generally grow better. Without them, the decomposition and regeneration cycle would slow significantly. Even these tiny creatures help maintain the rhythm of the entire forest. As night falls, the forest floor becomes even more mysterious. Insects reign supreme, crickets chirp, cicadas buzz, moth wings flutter through the darkness. Small bats swoop silently, hunting with echolocation. Green snakes hang motionless, waiting for prey to pass. Even in the dark, the cycle of life and death continues. The forest floor is a world of paradoxes, dark yet teeming with life, dangerous yet nurturing, small yet powerful. Here, jaguars maintain balance, poison dart frogs warn with deadly beauty, and leafcutter ants build an underground civilization. Every organism, whether fearsome or gentle, contributes to the operation of the massive machine called Costa Rica's rainforest. From this shadowy layer, vitality rises to the understory, the canopy, and beyond, creating a biodiversity paradise admired worldwide. Ascending from the forest floor, light becomes more noticeable, though still dappled and shifting. This is the understory, a twilight realm where sunlight filters through the dense canopy above, creating patches of illumination that dance on leaves and moss. Here the air is cooler, more humid, and thick with the scent of growing vegetation and flowing water. Every sound, the splash of a fish, the rustle of a frog, the cry of a monkey, resonates as if amplified by the closeness of the surrounding foliage. The understory is home to an incredible variety of life. Tapirs, the forest's gardeners, move quietly among the saplings, consuming fruits and dispersing seeds across the forest floor. Their slow, deliberate movements ensure that seeds have a chance to take root far from the parent tree, helping to regenerate the forest in new spaces. In many ways, these creatures are the unsung caretakers of the ecosystem, ensuring the continuity of the plant world above and below. Rivers and streams crisscross this layer, forming arteries of life. On their surfaces, the basilisk lizard, nicknamed the Jesus Christ lizard, demonstrates its remarkable ability to run across water. With each rapid sprint, its feet barely break the surface, creating ripples that glitter in the scattered sunlight. This extraordinary adaptation allows it to escape predators while moving quickly between habitats, a living testament to evolution's ingenuity. Among the trees, monkeys declare their presence with piercing howls. Howler monkeys' calls resonate like the deep tolling of a bell, asserting territory and warning intruders. Contrasting their vocal power, spider monkeys exhibit agility and finesse, swinging through branches using their prehensile tails like a fifth limb. These creatures embody the dichotomy of the understory, strength and subtlety coexisting in a delicate balance. Birds also thrive in this twilight kingdom. Macaws, with feathers of crimson, yellow, and sapphire, dart through gaps in the canopy, their wings catching the light like fragments of fire. They are not only breathtakingly beautiful, but also highly intelligent, exhibiting complex social behaviors, problem-solving abilities, and intricate communication. Meanwhile, the distant melodic call of a toucan punctuates the forest sounds. Its massive beak, though seemingly cumbersome, is perfectly adapted for plucking fruit and regulating body temperature. Streams here teem with life, from darting fish to amphibians that thrive in the cool, shaded waters. Frogs, smaller and subtler than their forest floor cousins, employ camouflage rather than warning colors to survive, blending seamlessly with moss, leaf litter, and stone. Predators are ever vigilant, from birds of prey hovering above to snakes gliding silently beneath branches, each playing their part in the complex web of survival. Amid this verdant tapestry, one senses the pulse of the forest. The understory is its heart, where energy circulates from floor to canopy and back again. Sunlight filtering through leaves sparks photosynthesis in ferns, shrubs, and young trees. Nutrients transported by the tapirs, insects, and birds nourish the soil, ensuring the forest's continuity. Even the smallest organism, a beetle burrowing in damp wood, a snail sliding along a mossy stem, contributes to the larger symphony. At dawn, the understory awakens in a chorus, The howler monkey's calls echo, birds sing, insects buzz, and the flowing streams provide a constant, soothing background rhythm. The forest is a living concert, and the observer is both audience and witness to the intricate choreography of life. Here the interplay between predator and prey, growth and decay, movement and stillness is most evident. Each species plays a precise role. The basilisk lizard eludes danger with astonishing speed. Tapirs propagate seeds far and wide. Macaws maintain social networks critical for survival, and plants rely on these creatures to ensure their next generation thrives. It is a continuous cycle where every action has a reaction, and harmony is maintained through constant, dynamic interaction. Crossing a stream, one might spot the reflection of a kingfisher diving, tiny ripples spreading outward, signaling the hunt has begun. The shadows of trees and leaves play upon the water's surface, creating an ever-changing mosaic of light and dark. In these moments, it becomes clear that the understory is far from a simple transitional layer. It is a world unto itself, vibrant and self-sustaining, a stage where life plays out in 1,000 small dramas simultaneously. The river itself acts as a highway and a lifeline. Frogs and insects serve as food for fish, which in turn are prey for birds and mammals. The flow of water connects the forest floor to the canopy, carrying nutrients and organisms along its path. Each movement, each splash, each subtle shift in current is a signal, a story of survival, adaptation, and interconnection.